I'm Dale Smith for Looney Politics, and Alberta Premier Jason Kenney is trying to pick yet another fight with the federal government, this time over childcare. Kenney claims that it's unfair that Quebec got a deal with no strings attached for their childcare funding, whereas the federal government won't give the same deal to Alberta. But what he's ignoring is the fact that Quebec already has a childcare system that is based in large part on nonprofit, that is for under $10 a day for the average price, and which has higher wages than the median for childcare workers and early learning educators. Why this is important is because this was all spelled out in the budget and the speech from the throne before that these were the goals that the federal government would be pursuing. Now, other provinces have agreed to sign on to these same terms, and the system that Quebec has meets these conditions. Alberta doesn't have a system that meets any of these conditions, which is why they don't get the same kind of deal that Quebec does. Quebec was also mentioned in the budget as being a deal that would be asymmetric in recognition that the fact that their system is already in place and has been really for the past 25 years. And Quebec has been reaping the rewards for it. One of the other things Kenney is trying to play on is this pervasive myth that Quebec's subsidized childcare system is a result of equalization payments they get from Alberta. But that's not exactly true. Quebec pays for their system out of their higher provincial taxes and gets a higher return in direct taxes from the higher economic activity that they get from having more women in the workforce because they have childcare available. Kenney also will claim that the system the federal government is trying to put in place is not right for Alberta, claiming that only 20% of people would benefit from it. But that's a figure that I think needs to be treated with suspicion. Part of the problem here is constrained choice, as in people don't have any kind of choice because the system is not available for them. Therefore, the demand really can't even be there because they know that the system doesn't exist. Whereas if the system were to exist, there would be more demand, there would be much higher take-up than 20%, and the system the federal government is looking for doesn't need to be exclusive. Alberta can go and pursue other avenues for the so-called flexibility that they're looking for, so long as they do still meet the criteria that the federal government has laid out. It doesn't have to be the end-all and be-all of their system. It can only just be a part of it, so long as it meets those conditions. This is really a distraction from Kenney, who is trying to shift attention away from other problems that are happening in his province. And with a federal election looming, this is his way of trying to basically hit at the federal government without necessarily being truthful as to the facts on the ground. For Looney Politics, I'm Dale Smith.